A reading from Luke, chapter 22, from verse 54 to 62. Then, seizing him, they led him away and took him into the house of the high priest. Peter followed at a distance. And when some there had kindled a fire in the middle of the courtyard and had sat down together, Peter sat down with them. A servant girl saw him seated there in the firelight. She looked closely at him and said, "This man was with him." But he denied it. "Woman, I don't know you," he said. A little later, someone else saw him and said, "You also are one of them." "Man, I am not," Peter replied. About an hour later, another asserted, "Certainly this fellow was with him. He is a Galilean." Peter replied, "Man, I don't know what you're talking about." And just as he was speaking, the cock crowed. The Lord turned and looked straight at Peter. Then Peter remembered the word the Lord had spoken to him: "Before the cock crows today, you will disown me 3 times. And he went outside and wept bitterly. A reflection for Wednesday. Be faithful. Time changes now. Slow motion and fast forward in one. It's dark. The sounds and smells of night heightened. And Peter is following, close enough to know where to go, far enough to not be spotted, staying faithful, seeing this through. He stumbles over roots, kicks up dust which mingles with the tears on his face. He wipes them away roughly, trying not to remember the blood-stained sweat he saw on Jesus just before the world turned upside down. Eyes screwed up to make the image go away. Please, let this be a dream, anything but this. They arrive at where they were heading, the chief priest's house, and set to work building a fire, chatting in low voices, waiting for it all to start. Dead of night now, the only ones awake. No prayer here, the absence of God weighing heavy in the air. Where are you when we need you? Be faithful to us. The fire is burning, a small spark at first, and beginning to crackle, flames changing colour, throwing shadows across the faces of those gathered for warmth and gossip. And Peter comes closer, afraid, but needing to hear, straining for the voices that may carry some reassurance that all isn't wreckage, that he can be hopeful once more. And he stoops, then sits, holding his hands out towards the fire in supplication as much as for warmth, regrets crowding him. Why didn't I stay awake? My prayers could have made the difference. His face is lit by the fire as a log flares, and the girl stood. And she says, "You were with him. I'm sure you were with him." And before he can stop it, Peter hears his voice, "You're mistaken, I wasn't there." And she falters, frowns, shakes her head. And conversation moves on, and Peter is really frightened now, heart banging in his chest, and he turns away from the fire, tries to hide his treacherous face. He gets up, walks away a little, but it's so cold. He turns back. Be faithful, he tells himself. See it through. And then a man speaks out. "You were there, I know it." Again, Peter hears his voice, faltering a little this time. "You've got it wrong, mate. It wasn't me." And he wants to leave, each part of his body screaming to be somewhere else. But he can't move. He needs to be near Jesus. Anything else feels alien, impossible. Be faithful. It's Jesus, the only one worth staying for. Time moves on. The night begins to lift a little. Peter is on the edge of the group, but alone, trapped in his own head, paralyzed by an increasing fear and something else. He searches. What is it? Grief. Heavy, painful beyond words, grief. for all that was and all that is, and for the unknown, where he can't let his thoughts go, grief. And then the darkness begins to thin, to turn pink at the edges. Peter shivers, and again someone speaks to him. You are one of them. And Peter loudly this time, you've lost the plot, it wasn't me. Do you treat all your visitors like this? The third denial still echoing around the courtyard. The sun appears, and then the sound, the crowing, unmistakable, it's daybreak. And as if in a movie, Jesus turns, searches for Peter's eyes, and soundlessly lets him know, just as I said, that's how it has played out. Frantically, Peter tries to catch his thoughts and grabs the one he's dreading, their conversation before it all changed. And Jesus turns away, and time stops. And Peter is falling, scenes from the last months of his life playing as he drops, times when he was riding high, learning from the Master, so close to God, alive. He stumbles out of the courtyard weeping, unable to stop the flood of tears. All I had to do was be faithful, forget my fear, tell the truth, the whole glorious truth about who Jesus is. Be faithful. Peter is battered and raw. Where is our faith today? Are we waiting for the first light, for the cockcrow, waiting in fear because we know that denial has been on our lips for a long time? Are we gazing defiantly into the eyes of Jesus? So what? I feel abandoned by you. Where is your faithfulness? Are we hiding our face in shame, knowing that we have denied him in our words and actions so many times, 3 times 3 times 3? Or do we stand alongside him this day in the courtyard as the embers of the fire glow and die? Are we there ready to be a part of this, whatever this is, knowing only that it will tear us in two? The Lord turned and looked at Peter. How faithful are we today?